A 72-hour countdown has begun for the families of 20 living hostages still being held by Hamas. By early Monday morning, they expect to see their loved ones finally return to Israel as part of the Gaza ceasefire deal. Joining us now, Moshe Levay, his brother-in-law Omri Meran was kidnapped by Hamas on October 7th. First of all, thank you for being with us right now. I wonder how you're feeling and how you and your family are preparing for a moment like this.
Thank you for having me. It's definitely, the past few days were definitely difficult for us to process because we had to realize that perhaps the end is finally near and we will have the happy reunion. But also there are always those fears that this time again we'll be disappointed. We're trying to prepare as much as possible as a family. I flew in this morning with my sister Lishai, Omri's wife, after spending the past few days in Washington, D.C. with her. So now we're together with the rest of the family, and we will most importantly need to prepare the girls, Omri's daughters, for that moment. And luckily there is a lot of support from the bureaucratic operators of the state here, of the state of Israel, to guide us what's the right way to do it based on the past examples of the previous deals. Your family has been very kind to send us all those photos, and I look at the faces of those beautiful little girls, and I can't even imagine what the moment of the reunion would be like. But help us to bring home what this has been like and the conversations that you're able to have, perhaps at least with the older girl. And I don't even, how do you even explain to them, Daddy's coming home? Yeah, the conversations with the girls have always been difficult since October the 7th. I want to point out both of them survived October the 7th. They were held captive by terrorists in their own home alongside Omri and Lishai. Roni was 2 years old then, and now he's 4. Was awakened that day with 5 terrorists pointing guns at her face. So you can imagine how much trauma she carries in her little body. I mean, she's so young, and yet so mature as well to her age. She knows what has happened to Omri, that he was taken by bad people, as she describes them. She knows that the situation is difficult because her father is not here, and she's serving as an older sister to her younger sibling Alma, who is only 2 years old. And so the conversation with her will be a bit different, but we're going to wait until we know for certain that Omri is coming home. And with Alma, she never really met her father as in a way that she can remember. And so the conversation with her will be even more difficult. She knows him as a poster primarily.
Have you been in contact with other families who have already had their loved ones released, and have they been helpful in sort of guiding you for the way forward?
Yes, ever since the tragedy on October the 7th, families gathered together, the majority of them in an NGO called the Hostage and Missing Families Forum, and that NGO helped us with our advocacy work, but also supported us in getting to know each other, getting to know other families who experience those happy moments of reunions, experience as well burying their loved ones. I just want to mention that there are 48 hostages still remain captive, among them 20 who are alive and 2 others whose status is unknown. We're also in contact with released hostages. This past week in DC, I spent time with some of them, including with Keith Siegel, an Israeli-American former hostage who spent time in captivity with Omri. He shared what he remembers from captivity, what he experienced from captivity with Omri specifically. And definitely we get guidance from other families. I have no doubt that we'll manage to go through it. And we're so grateful that we've reached this point, primarily thanks to President Trump and his amazing administration, who knew to push the right levels and reach a framework that both sides can agree upon.
Moshe, I hope you and your family have felt the love and support not just from here in the United States, but around the world. And know we will be rejoicing with you with that reunion. Thank you for being with us.